Good evening, everybody. Make yourselves comfortable. Everybody doing pretty well? So there's being an extra week, I get to do a special class. How to meditate with more joy and more success. Now, meditation, I don't know if you've heard, I love it. And I think I'm doing humanity a service by sharing it because Ben Franklin said, you give a man a fish every day, you can help him eat, but it's better to teach him how to fish, then he can feed himself for a lifetime. Meditation is like learning how to fish. You can, as a result of learning how to meditate, enrich your life every day for the rest of your life. And you have such wonderful consciousness within your being. As a result of being able to meditate, you access creative consciousness that helps you solve your life's problems and deal with your stresses and troubles. You'll find you've got a profound sense of security within your being. In an anxious world, learn how to meditate. You get this strength and this sense of profound security. Gives you poise to deal with all the chaos. If you learn how to meditate or learn how to fish yogically, you'll find within your being there's a profound sense of peace which becomes ever new joy. So if you're not enjoying your life or yourself, go deeper inside through meditation. You'll find something to love and enjoy greatly. And speaking of love, it turns out you are one of the world's main sources of love. People chasing around the planet, finding, if they could, seeking to find love where they can be welcome and treated right and everything. That's what the blues are all about. Can't find anybody, basically. Can't find anybody. So that's because we got the wrong needy kind of attitude. So it turns out we've got the wrong attitude. Because we're meant to discover love in ourselves that's so rich and so powerful, it comes out of us like a river. Turns out you're one of the sources of the planet's love. If you will meditate and learn to fish, and find within your being this marvelous love and let it express. You also find you have an inner power to change things, that the power that creates this marvelous universe is not just there to help you physically stay alive. A higher consciousness enables your heart to beat, and your brains to wave, and your food to digest, and your arms and legs to move about chaotically. So that power is not just there to help you physically, it's there to help you mentally and emotionally, and in terms of your interplay with life. If you will learn how to meditate, you can access this great consciousness. Learn how to meditate. So, if I can get you to try meditation, and I know what happens at first. You try it, and then you're busy, and then you try it, and it doesn't work, and you're restless, and I know all of that stuff. My buddy Kelsey used to come over at 7 a.m. Well, we tried 6, and then we switched it to 7. We're going to start out every day with an hour of powerful meditation. So what happens is, he comes to my house, and we sit down, and we both, and I'd say 10 minutes, we're just going like this. We're sleeping, and we try the next day, so we do this a long time because we're stubborn. We're thinking it's going to get better. And finally he says, there's not really a point in our being here sleeping. We may as well stay in bed. I said, yeah, that's true. So we gave up. The thing is, I know about the backs that don't want to meditate and the who knows what else. The burps that interrupt meditation and the subconscious mind that wants to put you in a kind of drowse and daze, I know. But if you're willing to try and practice, you will be able to do meditation, which is to center in your true nature and find these marvelous capacities available to you. And you will find through meditation something which will sustain you every day of your life. You will not just need a fish in order to eat. You will not need some happiness or some joy or some wisdom out here all the time. You will find you are a source of what you need and require, and that you're here to discover that and let it flow on into your life and world, into your beloved ones. It's an amazing thing to know how to meditate. It's the equivalent of being a good fisher person. So how to meditate with more success and joy, because I know you're busy. That's why we have a retreat site, so you can spend a weekend now and then just getting up and just focusing on yoga things for a whole weekend, from Friday night to Sunday afternoon. What it's for, to give you a chance. But chances are you do a bit of this and the rest of your week goes, maybe. So it's important to learn how you can find what you seek from life in abundance. And here are some wonderful things that will help. One of the main reasons people don't meditate well is they're worrying. We have, as human beings, the capacity to worry, and boy, are we good at it. To worry about anything. My dear mom was great at worrying. When she ran out of her own worries, she'd worry for you or someone else. It's just so possible to worry. So you're trying to meditate. Chances are in meditation, there's a momentum that says, now it's time to really worry. To really chew on, worry comes from the idea of a dog chewing again and again on the carpet or a rug or a bone. Just over and over again. That is to worry the carpet or worry the bone. What we do is we chew and chew and chew endlessly on a problem rather than deciding what the problem is and what to do about it. We just chew and chew and chew. So if you're a worrier, most every human being is, as a result of being a worrier, you've got to let your mind move that way night and day. We think we're being productive when we just get busy and worry. So yogis say one of the main things to do is to understand when you're meditating, you're going to concentrate on something else besides your worries. And so it's important to do a worry fast. That is to say, like, there are times, like before and after Christmas, good times. You just rest your whole digestive tract and not subjected to impossible dreams. Just eat light the day before Christmas and eat light the day after. Then you can feast up on Christmas Day. But the idea here is 5 minutes can make the difference. You take 5 minutes, like tonight, we'll do 3 or 4 to get the feel of it. Take a worry fast. What you do is you sit there and you say, I'm just not going to worry for 5 minutes. I'll let my mind and emotions do what they please, but when it comes to worrying, I'm going to recognize, oh, that's a worry, and I'll worry later. I'll worry when this is over. Or I'll make a time tomorrow morning to think about this and worry about it. What you do is you put it off by saying, I'll worry later. I'll worry in 5 minutes. Right now, if you want to, you put it off, or you say, that's a worry. That's just worrying, needlessly chewing on the problem and not really solving it right now, so better not worry. You can just dismiss it or you can postpone it. Either way. And then, having dismissed it, observe that it'll come back and you just dismiss it again or whatever you might, or postpone it again. The goal is to go 5 minutes telling your mind and consciousness, instead of all this worry you think I want to do, or instead of all this worry that's just a stewing of my subconscious mind endlessly misdirected, I want to give instructions to my life and my subconscious and my ego that for 5 minutes now I've chosen I don't want to worry. Just turn off the bubble machine. I don't want to worry for 5 minutes. And this is what I'm saying to my consciousness. Don't worry for 5 minutes. And if you can engineer that by recognizing the worries and letting them go and doing it again when they come up, you get 5 worry-free minutes. If you can do that, you can do much more with your life. But the goal is, can you do a few minutes a day of worry fast? Because if you can, then you're going to get the ability to sit down and meditate and say, I'm going to meditate here, not worry. And you're giving a directive, and that's the way it's going to be. So, that said, let's take 3-4 minutes, and we're just going to sit and have a nice time. And any worry comes up, we recognize it and either postpone it or just say, I don't want to worry anymore. So, play with it. Just have fun. It must be nice to be on the planet among the few dozen people who aren't worried at this minute. Here we go. 3-4 minutes. Enjoy. A worry fast. Not going to take any worries right now. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, do you notice that your mind is now pretty clear and ready to meditate? Wouldn't it be easy to go from a worry fast into some meditation? So if you're a worrier, and who isn't, you might just do a little worry fast for the first third of your meditation. If worries are bothering your meditation, just do a worry fast and then just float right into meditation. Because we have a worry habit. That's where we've deployed our energies all the time, habitually. Go around the street and do our jobs very often, just busy worrying. So that's a wonderful thing. So that's one beautiful thing to make meditation fairly easy. Next thing, prana. We every day deploy our life force into so many areas. My job, and the problems with my job, and Orange County's going broke or whatever, and recession, and or what about this opportunity and that opportunity? Again and again, it's like we've got a fleet of trucks of energy, and we're just sending the trucks all over the world, maybe. And then we want to go to meditate, and guess what? Our energy trucks are still trucking. They're just moving all over the place. Whatever you desired or feared, send energy in a direction. And let's say you had lots of desires and lots of fears and were angry lots. You deployed energy. Energy trucks. Say, now I want to meditate. But your trucks are still out there. You got to get the trucks to come back and park in the parking lot. So what happens is, because of our energy deployments, it's hard to meditate. We have done so many things in terms of our interest and awareness. We've deployed our awareness in so many places. That's why it's hard to meditate. So yogis say, let's go to meditation by dealing with all these energy deployments. And you know a very simple pranayama, I believe. And I just want you to look at it from this perspective. Just by working with light force, by the time we've done this 3 or 4 minutes, you'll think, gee, it would be easy to go into meditation. And it would be. Because you've got the energy to do it with, and the energy's not in chaos. So these next few minutes are to experience bringing the trucks back home and having the energy pool free to use for something you choose, like meditation. And I think we may as well do that basic alternate breath. You take, and if it's ever uncomfortable for you to do this, as you know from your wonderful Hatha Yoga teachers, just don't do it. And just sit there and calmly watch your breath come and go. But take these 2 fingers of your right hand, and you put the fingers down on the base of the thumb. You now have a great gripper, marvelous gripper. What are you going to grip? Your ear, of course. No. You grab the old nose. Grab your nose. And what we're going to do, many of you know, who knows how many different complex and wonderful things that this can do, but basically what we're trying to do is just gather our awareness so that our consciousness and our energy are right here, that we can then deploy into meditation. So this technique is close the right nostril, inhale through the left. Close them both, pause a little bit, exhale right. The one you exhale out of is the one you then inhale through. So we exhaled right, now we inhale right. Close them both, pause, exhale left. We just exhaled left, so we inhale left. Called the alternate breath. Pause, exhale right. Now I'm going to ask you to do this for 3 to 4 minutes. Just enjoy working with your breath and your life force. Then we'll pause and see how clear our mind is. Go ahead, play working with your prana. Complete the cycle you're now on, and then just pause and notice how clear and refreshed your mind is and ready to meditate. Why, our trucks are here. They're not all over the world. We got our trucks back. Our life force is ready to be used for what we choose. So simple. Bring your awareness back. So, that's how you meditate with more success and joy. So, let's say you've put in a lot of energy today, and it's been all over the place, so many activities. Call your trucks back first. Do some pranayama. Work with your life force. Okay, next thing is, the great people we admire who've invented and composed, conceived the great things that help society move forward, all got absorbed very often in their ideas. They got utterly absorbed. Do you have the ability to get absorbed in something that's really interesting to you? Of course you do. But that technique of being able to be absorbed in something like your artwork or you're throwing pots, and the time went by, like photographers, they hardly ever know what time it is when they're working in those, I mean, like they think it's 2 hours and it's actually 6 hours. They got absorbed. Artists, utterly absorbed. Einstein, so absorbed. The thing is, when you're watching a good movie, you suddenly forget in a theater with your feet sticking to the drink that was spilled on the floor. You forget that. And a good movie seems like it took no time at all. A beautiful sunset, it's just beyond time. You just get absorbed. It's so beautiful. Beautiful symphony, they're playing so beautifully tonight, or some beautiful concert of some sort. I mean, you just feel refreshed, and 2 hours went by, and you felt it was no time at all. Being absorbed. It's wonderful if you could have some nice CDs around the house that allow you a few times a week to listen to something beautiful that you really love to hear, and you just get absorbed. Because what is meditation? Gathering your awareness and getting absorbed. Only you're getting absorbed in your soul, in your true self, which is the best thing to get absorbed in, your core being, or the Lord of your heart, getting absorbed in that. That's meditation at a very high level. But the technique of getting absorbed is something you've probably already got down from the good movies in your life, from the beautiful sights in your life. You go all over Europe and there are such incredible sights to see, like LA has a few of them. But you go to like the London Art Museum, or whatever, at Trafalgar Square, National Gallery in London, or the incredible Louvre, or the Netherlands, Reykjavik, or something like that. Reykjavik something or other. Gorgeous, gorgeous gallery there. Oh, you could just spend a day at one painting. Or somebody sings beautifully or plays beautifully. Oh, another great one, a book. You're not reading words after a while, you're just experiencing this incredible novel, and you're just living at a higher level of awareness. So, absorption. What do you easily get absorbed in? It's so beautiful or interesting to you, you just lose time and lose a sense of separation. Like, I'm out here and I'm reading this dumb book. What is it that gets you nicely absorbed in what's going on? Time seems to go away. You tend to get refreshed and energized from it. That's something you should do more often. Try to get the habit or try to develop the knack that you already have going. Enjoy the absorption in something of great interest to you. Great beauty, great inspiration. Like, look at the heavens at night. Now, we can't do that very well here, but up on Palomar, wow, what a show up there. But now and then we get 5 stars down here. 5-star sky. But occasionally we get 6, But we get the moon. Anyway, but, look at Elise. Like, there was this great entomologist who took up photography, and he had a vacation, I think it was a month. And my photography teacher said, "How far did you get?" And he said, halfway across my backyard. That's what he did in his vacation, just looking at bugs, and he got halfway across his backyard, during his vacation, halfway across. That's absorption. Now, you have to have a special knack of absorption to get halfway across your backyard for the kitchen, but it can be done. Okay. So, I'd like to ask you to think about what you easily get absorbed in and start making a little diary. Tonight, think of something you get absorbed in, and I would like you to just think about it we don't have much time, for 2 minutes. And I would like you to just notice when it's something so beautiful and interesting to you, your energy centers beautifully, and it's ready to go into it. It's ready to have a deep experience with it. So think of something you like a lot that presents to you absorption possibilities, and just notice the play of your mind when you do this. Go ahead. A couple minutes only, unfortunately. Time going fast. You might try, for example, to think, what are the things I love to do? I take my collections of books of paintings, and I just open it and look at one painting for 10 minutes. It's just so fun. But what you might do is look at a beautiful copy of a painting for a few minutes, and then your mind is so gathered. Then meditate. A wonderful thing to do. Now, for some people, it would be like a doctor. He might look at just a part of the body where all the nerves and arteries and everything come together and see something so beautiful it's astounding. Might get absorbed in that. Or a gardener. Good compost. I don't know. Gardeners? They think compost is a polite word. I'll tell you. It probably is. But you talk with gardeners at the table. They're all, they'll sit there and be eating wonderful food. And they'll be talking compost for an hour while they're, because it's an exciting subject. It means beautiful fruit and beautiful carrots. So, but I find it quite interesting. Generally, gardeners, I think 50% of their conversation is compost. I don't know. Have you talked to a lot of gardeners? It's compost. It's compost. Another thing that's wonderful for developing meditation is, it's called positive thinking, but how do you summarize positive thinking? Basically, accept the goodness of the Creator and the goodness of your life and give that some attention. Think of the goodness of it all. Why always think of the things that go wrong and the things you're afraid of? Why not think about the good things? And goodness. The goodness within you. Ramakrishna used to say, the person who thinks about sin all the time is certain to keep just bound to it. Think about the goodness, the love, the light. He says it's an important stage to think about your sins, but my goodness, to spend your whole life thinking about your sin? Your whole life? You spend your life thinking about the Lord of your heart and your soul. Anyway, he was a great being. He was trying to help us out there. Anyway, next thing. And like that's what Sister Margarita said. Think of the wonder of everything. You should not be thinking about all these negative things all the time. You should be thinking about the wonder of yourself and of life. She was called the Wonderologist nun. Wonderologist. Had wonder on her license plate. Wonder. Yeah. Beware of wonder. Okay. Next thing. Ignorance is a habit. Sorrow is a habit. Grief is a habit. Anger is a habit. They're habits. Try to develop the habit of happiness. When you're happy, enjoy it. Don't send it away. And let it have a momentum. And then when it goes away, be open to it coming back again. Try to develop a habit of happiness. So I'm just touching on these. We could spend the whole evening on positive thinking and on happiness habits. But let's say you've done all this and say, it doesn't work for me, Guruji. I've pranayam, I've held my nose well into the night. I've looked at art before. I worry past that, and it's just all crazy up here anyway. So what do? So I tell people that, first off, if there's a lot of pain and trauma in there, such that it's just painful to look at your mind and work with it, get some professional counseling, a friendly, loving person of your choice. If it doesn't work with one, choose another. But the point is, why must this suffering go on? If as a result of trauma and pain, it's just miserable to look in your mind, get some help. Get some loving help. Get some counsel and start feeling better. Deal with your suffering, because it's a wonderful thing to get some healing going. So sometimes the mind needs some healing. Next thing, though, is generally everybody's mind, now and then, a little hurricane of some sort. But it's not due to trauma so much. It's just general living of life. Not a series of trauma, as say child abuse, rape, betrayal, or having let oneself down immensely in some situations. Okay, but now, one thing you can fall back on, the yogis say, just fall back on this and count on it. When you can't think of anything else to do selfless service. Find ways not to be stuck in yourself. Find ways to go out and help somebody. Ways to commit energy, make a donation, support this, paint over the graffiti, help the beach clean up, or just find some way to do selfless service, because this puts the ego, your sense of self, in a positive state, a state that makes it much easier to meditate. Find a way to do service that's not for gain. You're just doing it to give. Selfless service. And this is like medicine. Is like great medicine. Selfless service. That will make your mind gradually clear. So, if all else fails, selfless service, and get busy, and your mind will start to improve. Now, selfless service brings clarity of mind. Clarity of mind brings this most beautiful state, serenity. Yogis prize serenity as one of the greatest things you can possibly experience in life. Serenity means undisturbed well-being. It's a sense of wonderful well-being, and it can't be wiped out or knocked over. Undisturbed serenity. Undisturbed well-being. Serenity is undisturbed well-being. As a result of serenity, which is a wonderful result of clarity, some wonderful benefits come to you. And I'd like to share with you, in conclusion, how this clarity of mind leads not only to wonderful meditation, but this state called serenity. So, let's look at serenity's possibilities. It makes your mind more successful in the world and more ecstatic, tuning in with your inner self. Serenity of mind makes your mind work better out here in the world and in here in your experience of life. Serenity does both of those. In fact, serenity often enables you to find ways to make this world more beautiful and ways to make you more successful and fulfilled. And here are some of the main things that come from our beautiful serenity. Harmony. In serenity, you can create a state of harmony in your life and in yourself. Harmony means without conflict. Things are working together. You get the joy of finding that within your being, you're not conflicted. And you begin to find ways, as a result of that understanding, create greater harmony with other people and with your world. So you begin to live a state where you're consciously joyous about all the harmony that's going on. And people from the East talk about it all the time because they're striving to recognize the importance of harmony. Very often, Japanese want to do business with people where there will be harmony. The harmony is a key to Japanese concepts of business. But this is also true in India and many places. This harmony idea is so important. As a result of harmony, relatedness. In harmony, you can sense how you are deeply and wonderfully related to the people in your house, the people in your neighborhood, the people on the news. The people that are never on the news, too, related to them also. Relatedness. In harmony with a serene mind, you get a state that shows you the beautiful interrelationships. And also relatedness in terms of the freeway, in terms of scheduling things, and in terms of everybody's goals, and everybody wakes up hungry. We need food. We need to sleep without getting wet. We have all these needs. And we get a sense of this wonderful relatedness that we all have. Marvelous thing. So this serenity just shows you something magnificent. You end up losing strangers. That is to say, you discover in serenity, there aren't any strangers around here. Maybe people I haven't met, but they're not strangers to me. It's a wonderful state of being, serenity. It's just a thrill to be alive in serenity. Undisturbed well-being. Okay? As a result of this, you can sense meaning. What? Until you sense meaning, it's like life is chaotic. Try to find your way. Try to find your own meaning, because it's all chaos. Do what you can. What if there really is meaning? Get a serene mind, you'll find, gee, there was meaning here that wasn't here last week. What is all this meaning doing around here? Wasn't here last week. Okay. Okie dokie. You get spiritual empowerment. You sense spirit and consciousness within you wanting to express and having dynamics to help you do beautiful things. You get a sense the universe is backing you up. The universe, the busy creative process, is going to help you with your life. A universal sense with your day-to-day activity and debris, whatever. So, spiritual empowerment. This leads to the final crowning glories of just getting a clear mind and letting it blossom. Clear mind becomes a serene mind. Clear mind is a chance for the soul to move into the mind. The inner consciousness to express through your mind. So that leads to steadiness. That's you can more sure-footedly do this life trip and these odd climbs, more sure-footedly. That leads to integrity of being. Get the chance to be true to yourself and others and understand how to succeed in life while being true. And talk about euphoria. You get bursts of this, a sense of real, genuine, natural love of all beings. Just love starts to pour. Not just drizzle, pour. So love of all beings. Love. That, my friends, is how to meditate with more joy and with more success. Any one of these ideas will help you immensely. You might try a few of them. They usually don't take more time, they're just kind of like an act. But if you can get the mind clear and have it stay clear a while, you get serenity. Have a wonderful week. Have a serene time, will you? Take good care of yourselves.